What is the biggest misconception or the biggest thing that people think, an investor or writer-director thinks that they can scale back the budget on, but in reality they can't? And you have to kind of let them know.
Anyone who wants to, as I always say, okay, if you're going to do, well, in this day and age because of technology, a lot of people like to do things on a low budget scale. You know, whether it's an ultra low budget or a low budget, you know, the two different categories. And it's like, if you have kids, if you have animals, if you have stunts, those are things you cannot scale back on. You got to have a studio teacher there if you have kids. The kids can only work a certain amount of hours, so it's going to shorten your day. If you have animals, you got to hire an animal trainer, unless it's a dog that's already trained. If you have stunts, you know, stunt guys will come out, but there's a minimum for SAC stunts, and you know, stunt guys aren't going to, you know, work for below a certain thing, especially if they're going to be set on fire or whatnot. So, I mean, there's always a way around certain things, and people would do it, but again, you're jeopardizing the quality of people you're bringing on board. So I think a lot of people, they make a script and go, we want to make it for this, versus, I say, write a script that matches your budget. Don't write a script and go, well, we can make it work for this much money anyway. No. If you write a script that is a $5 million script, and you only have 500,000, it's not going to work. So you need to scale that script down and make it work for the budget that you have. So I think that's the problem, mistake a lot of people make, is they don't make the script match the budget they actually have.
But then conversely, what do you think people spend too much money on, but really they could scale back on? Is it location? Thinking they need some amazing place when really you're just going to see a little bit of it?
Yeah, well, I mean, in LA it's different because everyone is very familiar with how filming works around here. So, you know, you can get lucky and get some great deals on locations, but lots of times it's, you know, people are charging you a lot of money. You know, in Utah we got locations for free or for like $1,000.
Wow.
You know, which is really hard to do here. We've done it, but it's, you know, it's personal favors. But I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of people, well, that's probably about the same amount of money. I mean, there's your hard cost of like money you're going to spend regardless. You know, your crew. The bigger mistake is people overpay people when they don't have the budget for it. That's the biggest thing. It's really just being mismanaged, because you can, you know, if we jump on a $2 million movie, you know, the crew's going to be paid $300-400 a day, plus the overtime. You know, if you're doing a $500,000 movie, people working for $150-200 a day. You know, so, but I think a lot of people just mismanage that, and they go, oh, well, it's this much, you know, $500,000, and we're going to still pay them $400 a day. I think it's just they overpay people. I think that's the biggest thing. They're not aware, or they try to take care of their friends, or they just don't manage it right.
So let's suppose they do find a cheaper location in Utah or some other state. Then what are they weighing in terms of the cost to bring people in, or should we hire local talent? Like what are some of then the questions that you ask if you have an LA-based production, but
Right.
you decide to take it to another state
Yeah.
that's cheaper? What are you looking at to make sure that it all balances out and that you're not spending the same amount?
We're comparing the cost of crew, putting them up in a hotel, their travel pay, their per diem rate for the show, and we're weighing that against how much we were spent on locations.
Okay, and so you kind of tally it all up, and
Yeah.
whichever comes out less is the better option, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So for the two Hallmark movies we did, it worked out better to do it in Utah. It still was about the same, but the setting was right, and we brought 2 actors in from LA, and then everyone else, actor-wise, were local hire actors. You know, so that kind of helped with the budget as well. And then I didn't line produce that one, but I was a part of the team, the production team. But doing an out-of-state project, it's just really about the per diems and all that versus, you know, just keeping it here. You know, if you're going to spend $25,000 in locations, or $30,000 in locations here, and you can do that for $10,000 in Utah, then it makes sense to take everybody up there. It balances out because, you know, the money is still going to be sent. You know, the money is money. So I have $1 million is $1 million. It just depends on where I put it.
Sure, sure. And are you also looking at tax credits and targeting those states first to see if that works, and if it doesn't?
Yes. Yeah, basically, yeah. So a lot of times it depends on what the story setting is. So if it's, if it's evergreens and rolling hills or mountains, it's not going to be LA. You have to go somewhere else to get that setting, especially if there's a lot of exterior shoots.
So then if you are going to apply for the tax credit, who do you contact within that state?
Just the film commission.
Okay. And then is there like a waiting, is certain states take longer for certain, paperwork?
Yeah, each state with the tax incentive is a little different. Whereas like South Carolina, you can go there and they'll just, give you a check when you arrive. In other states,
nice.
it takes 30 days. It just depends on the state, how they have it structured.